This is exactly right.
Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable.
From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra.
Each design moves with you from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold. Goodbye. The Hulu original series Furious is coming to Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus on July 27th.
Starring Emmy Rossum as Alice Black, Furious follows a rookie FBI agent on the hunt for Catherine, played by Lola Pettigrew, a mysterious and calculating female serial killer.
While Alice upholds justice, Catherine kills for it, terrorizing the rich and powerful men of New York in her pursuit of vengeance.
With secrets that change everything, Alice discovers there's a thin line between hunter and prey.
Watch the Hulu original series Furious on July 27th.
Streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Goodbye.
Sometimes the hardest part of therapy is just getting started.
For real, which is why having help that's flexible, accessible, and easy to fit into your life matters.
And that's exactly what Talkspace is designed for.
Talkspace therapy and psychiatry is covered by most insurers, and most insured members pay a copay of $0.
Part of the mission of Talkspace is to provide quality care that is accessible and affordable, whether or not you're insured.
Talkspace has really made it just a kind of no-brainer to try therapy. If you're nervous about talking to someone, if you're nervous about the money, if you're nervous about leaving the house, you don't have to deal with any of that. They have covered it. And for me, like, that is the best way to get into therapy. Take all the what ifs out.
You know you got to do it.
You know you do.
As a listener of this podcast, you'll get $80 off of your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/MFM and enter promo code SPACE80.
That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/MFM and enter promo code SPACE80. Goodbye.
Tiny puppets?
Tiny
puppets. Hello! And welcome
to a very special episode of My Favorite Murder.
The 200th episode. It's Can't You Feel It?
Can you feel it in the air tonight?
Can you feel them stacked up around us?
Can you feel all the homework we've done?
Oh,
for you.
That's 400 book reports, poorly researched, sometimes not accurate, passionately delivered.
I was absolutely doing that. Have I already covered this case today of the case I'm doing? I know I have, but
it's such a great irony. The amount, and I know I've said this 1,000 times, but the way in high school I spent all of my brain power figuring out how to get out of doing homework, how to get out of writing book reports, how I would stare at the cover of Silas Marner and go, I'll make up what this book is about and I'll trick an adult and they'll believe me. And it worked. All just to lead to this point in our lives.
2 college dropouts.
Hating homework.
And look at us now.
Boom. Loving homework.
Everyone, you can do it too.
If you can write a 5-page report and then admit you were wrong later, I think that's the key to podcasting. It's about the humility of knowing everyone knows more and better than you.
That's right. And you're going to be wrong sometimes. And to 99% of the people, it's okay.
It's okay. And then to 60% of those people, it's fun. Because then they get to go, actually, this is the one I'm obsessed with.
And then we learn something.
We do the talking, recorded talking. Then you have to write in old-fashioned style.
Right. And then we have a group hug.
And then we get to 200.
Yeah.
And that's when we announce the platform change where all of this is, we're now going to be doing, we're now going to be doing improv. You didn't know?
Great.
You didn't get my text BlackBerry message?
We've been doing this off script for so long. I don't know how we're going to start improvising this.
You got to forget about memorizing these lines that you memorize every week. Just don't worry about it anymore.
Okay.
Not an issue.
They're gone.
Can I just say this? So we've just gotten back from our UK tour.
UK and Ireland tour.
UK, Ireland, with their company retreat to Barcelona at the end. a wonderful time all the way around. One of the highlights of that trip was that we actually got to fly Lufthansa Airlines. And that is the fanciest airline, airplane, executive lounge I've ever seen in my life.
They had a Christmas cookie setup.
I've been telling everyone about it. Yes.
Oh my God. It was just this German Christmas cookie. It looked like a puppet play was going to come out from behind it.
Yes. It was like a little shed that you'd come upon in an enchanted wood.
Right.
And as I explained to my dad, not 5 different kinds of cookies, literally like 30 different cookies and candies.
I think what you loved about it is that the air hosts, what are they called?
Flight attendants?
Is that the flight attendants hated us.
Yes.
They were these 2 lovely blonde German men who clearly were sick of our shit.
Yes.
Even though we hadn't done any shit yet.
No, but I think it's a cultural, which I kind of enjoy because it's actually very Irish as well. They're the type of people that let you know you're going to have to earn this. Even though I am here to serve you, I'm also not really here to serve you.
I feel like, though, I have this preconceived attitude as a Jew that I don't fucking need to earn this from you. I've done enough. Friend.
True.
Sorry. But yeah, I think I have this automatic, I don't want those fucking Christmas cookies then.
Yes.
Well, I don't fucking want this cheese. Well, I don't know.
No, I think that's a good way to kind of try to change the dynamic. Mm-hmm. It's an effective way. If you had the kind of weird upbringing I had, there's a challenge in, oh, you hate me? Now let's mark it on the clock. Give me an hour. You're going to love me. Which I have to say, by the end of that trip, and it was a very long one, by the time we got home, I had both of those guys searching, almost breaking down my seat, looking for my one lost earbud.
Did you find it in your pocket later?
They found it, and it wasn't in the chair. It had slid into the magazine holder next to the chair.
Brilliant.
Impossibly.
They almost mechanically removed that chair from the airplane.
They were breaking it down. I kept touching their backs going, honestly, I'll just buy another set. It's my fault. On me.
Oh, that sounds so sweaty.
And do you know that they didn't find it while I was there? As we were driving home, they sent me a picture. They had found it and stuck it in an envelope. This is how see, they don't need to be nice to your face.
Me? Would they have done that if it was me?
Listen, you guys have a different history.
Okay.
It's a different setup. But maybe because I was like, I'll take the loss. Yeah. I'm not making you do this. Please stop doing it. And they wouldn't stop looking. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, and we found it. Now it's in an envelope. Now it's on the way to your house. Full fucking service. But also the most beautiful executive lounge. Yeah. I want to just live there for the rest of my life. I'm definitely getting the couches that were in that.
You should go back. Just have a vacation in the executive lounge.
Just at the cookie shed.
Right.
I'll stand at the cookie fucking shed.
Right. It's there year round. Even though it's Christmas, because it's Germany. Don't worry about it.
They do what they want.
Can I tell you, can I change the subject?
Please.
The Confession Killer on Netflix.
Oh.
Which we've done an ad for. Mm-hmm. I fucking took the time to watch it.
Otis Toole?
It's fucking good. No, it's Henry Lee Lucas. There's a little Otis in there.
Oh, okay.
But I really didn't know that I just kind of never read anything or listened about him because I was like, fuck this mass fucking serial killer. I don't care.
Yes.
But then I watched this fucking documentary and there's twists and turns and it there's a whole law enforcement thing that maybe turns on this person and there's all this crazy shit going on and the victims' families having to deal with him confessing to over 300 murders.
So then they're excited that they could get answers. And then...
And I don't want to say what happens, but that he didn't do that 300 murders.
No.
It's a totally different story and it's a really good fucking documentary.
Awesome. Because I have to say there's been a couple people have brought up to us or that we've heard about or whatever, where I'm like, I don't know, I might be at my saturation point in terms of just basically all of these are roughly the same. We just keep telling the same story over and over again,
this
essentially.
One isn't because it's astounding and it's kind of frustrating to watch because he was given a chance to confess to all these murders and the way it happens is really frustrating. And so it's a hard watch because you get really worked up and upset. So it is hard, but it's different in that it's kind of it's just well done.
Oh,
It's
good.
really
I'm gonna watch it then.
Yeah.
There's the other one about the Nazi that lives next door.
Oh, I started watching that too.
Too upsetting?
Too upsetting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's him. I never finished it.
I don't know if I'm gonna start because
I think it is.
there's so much. You know what I've been watching since I got back, and maybe it was a little bit of like to wean me off of the entire Ireland UK experience. There's season 3 of Toast of London is on, and it's the Matt Berry's British series. That character, Stephen Toast, who is he's an actor, but he mostly does voiceover. It's the funniest series. It's incredibly intentionally offensive.
Yeah.
So be careful who you recommend it to. I made the mistake of being like, Dad, you're going to love this. And then forgot that there's like so much like just gratuitous sex and insane.
Oh no.
Where I went, oh, what? I remembered this as just being kind of funny in general and forgot.
You recommended soft porn to your dad.
Dad, you're going to think this is hilarious. But anyway, it's, I watched that so quickly, like the second I got back.
I get it. I stayed home for like 3 days after we got back. It was so nice.
We were making plans. We were RSVPing yes to parties.
Oh my God.
We were doing things that in the moment I knew we weren't going to do it, but I was like, but I should.
Yeah.
Cut to 3 days after we got back, and I was still on the couch like, is it 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.? I have no idea.
My problem is I don't want to go out after dark, and right now it turns dark at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm home till like 3 doing shit, and then I have a 2-hour window to leave the house, which I usually don't want to. And then it's night and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's right. It kind of all starts to shut down. Yeah. It's like we live in on the North Pole now or something where it all gets a little low key. And also my energy just is slowly sapped all day long. Right. So then it's like, I'm too old to like go out at night.
No. And the thing is I have a fireplace now too. God,
cozy.
Damn it.
Cozy. Yeah. My heater was broken. No, not to complain. But when I got back, my heater was broken and my house has like a tile floor. It was so cold that I was wrapping the dogs up in blankets and myself up in blankets, and we're all on the couch. Like no one left the couch because it was so cold. When I was like sitting up watching TV, I was wrapping blankets around around myself like it was a Game of Thrones costume.
Meanwhile, your fucking jacuzzi's sitting out there being not used.
Meanwhile,
you all could have gone in together.
I should have forced the dogs into the jacuzzi.
No, you'll like it.
Guys, we'll have a soak. We'll relax. We'll talk about stuff. I know you're mad that I was gone.
Can I do a quick merch plug?
Please do.
This isn't just your regular merch plug. We now have a bunch of new designs and a lot of Christmas and holiday items.
Yes.
It's so exciting.
Some great ones.
We have the Stay Sexy and Do God's Mission holiday design, and we have it on ornaments.
Stay saved and do God's mission.
Stay saved and do God's mission. Yeah. We have it on like sweaters and t-shirts and on ornaments. It's so fucking cute. We have a Sprankers design.
Love it.
We have a new Elvis design. We have a Yeti Truthers design, which is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
All you Yeti Truthers out there, you finally have a t-shirt.
That's right.
That speaks for you.
We should have had it be double-sided. On the other side, it says, I don't believe in Yetis. And you can pick which one you want to wear.
You mean like turn it inside out? Nice. Next time.
And we have you're in a cult. And then we're also pairing with this really incredible murderino named Abby Paulhus, who is this incredible artist. And she's doing some wrapping paper for us.
Yeah.
And she's doing like this really cool December like gift calendar for us. She's so fucking talented and we love working with her.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. There's ornaments, there's clothing, there's mugs. So check it out at myfavoritemurder.com in the store.
So many gifts.
So many gifts. And you can buy people now a fan cult membership as a gift. And
that's
we also,
and affordable.
We have a black and white My Favorite Murder logo pin, and all of the proceeds of that are going to Rain.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you can actually get someone something and then feel good about the fact that you're actually giving.
Right.
Do it twice.
And their leather jacket looks cool.
Yeah. It's just a rad pin.
Bonus.
Yeah. Nice one. Nice plug for the holidays. Does it feel good to get back into plugging?
I've never gotten out of it. Yeah.
You're 24/7. That's why you stay home so much.
Hey, Vince, have you seen these great new shoes? Check it out.
You're going to love them. They're called Crocs.
It's just Georgia won't stop plugging shit for me. I don't know what to do about it. That everything?
I think so.
Okay, great.
Okay.
if we think of it, we'll say it in the middle of the show.
Isn't that the kind of the structure we've always adhered to?
It's been 200 episodes. If you don't know how the structure is yet, then keep listening.
Then keep listening, because we'd love to know if there is a structure,
right,
or if there's something we should be looking into structure-wise.
Yeah, and we love that you're here. We're here too.
Yeah.
God, it's almost been 4 years, actually.
It's crazy.
Fuck.
200 seems like hardly any.
It doesn't seem like a lot.
For what it feels like we've experienced.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To me, this feels like 2000.
I was going to suggest that we both go back and listen to episode 1, but then I'm like, why would I do that to us?
No.
Why would I ever do that to us?
Oh, God.
It will just change everything.
I was going to suggest that we restart the Facebook page. and just really dig into some opinions.
Walk away from it all.
Opinions. Well, you know what? It's been just a true explosion.
It's been a whirlwind.
And it's so exciting, like having just been in Ireland, the UK, and parts unknown. It's been so awesome to meet people face to face who are like, I'm as excited as you are, or I feel like I've been there with you.
Or I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you that we get sometimes from the mom-daughter combos.
Yeah.
It kills me.
It is so great.
It gets me good. And it's so nice. It's like, it's what I love about touring, aside from all the clapping, is really that kind of face-to-face, like, hey, like I've done this with you. And all the stories, it's just the coolest.
It makes
Those
it
stories.
tangible. It makes it tangible.
And people saying like, I wasn't sure. Now I'm changed my major to criminal justice. That kind of stuff where we're, first of all, we say it all the time, but we get credit for shit we should not get credit for. But just the idea that we're like the part of these people's lives.
Totally.
And in 200 episodes in this way.
It's like in a way that you can't understand sitting across the table from me right now with Stephen in the corner touching his beard.
Eavesdropping the whole time.
Yeah. Giggling into his face. I'm sorry, giggling into his hand. You just don't get it.
If you could see Stephen giggle into his own face, it's the giggliest.
I think that technically we've been doing this podcast to make Stephen laugh in the corner this whole time when we learn that other people listen to it.
That's the most surprising part. It's more than Stephen giggling into his face. It's so much more than that. And we get to learn every time we do leave the house or leave the state or the country, then we get to learn what that means. So it's really nice to learn it, because that's kind of our perspective is, I would say, the weirdest.
Yeah.
It's the most myopic of all.
Surreal. Oops. Okay. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Every successful small business starts with someone saying, I wonder if people would actually buy this.
Squarespace gives you everything you need to find out.
From consultations to events and experiences, you can showcase your skills with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business.
With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a beautiful, professional online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business.
Get paid on time with professional invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools.
Head to squarespace.com/murder for a free trial.
And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MURDER to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Goodbye.
You know your favorite summer clothes by what actually makes it into your suitcase.
Find the outfits you'll wear all season long at Quince.
Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces you'll reach for all summer long. They're lightweight, effortless to style, and they start at just $32.
Their denim is soft and comfortable, and their organic cotton sweaters are perfect for layering when evenings get cold.
Quince's beautiful 14-karat gold jewelry adds a subtle finishing touch.
So I just went to Italy, and you bet I brought my 100% European linen scoop neck midi dress along with me in the color of floral waterfall, and I wore that thing all over Italy. It was like the perfect day to night. It just looked so pretty, and I felt like I looked sophisticated while still being comfortable.
Make your summer wardrobe feel easier.
Head to quince.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Go to QUINCE.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/MFM.
Goodbye.
Every piece of furniture you own has a story.
Sometimes it's an heirloom, and sometimes it came with the house because it was too heavy to move.
If you're ready to start a new chapter with your home decor, there's Article.
Article makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price.
They take great care in curating their collection, focusing on pieces that stand the test of time.
We've talked about Article for a long time. There are pieces in that catalog that are so affordable that are room changers. And if you go through there and there's like a little something you don't even realize you need it until you see how they have stuff set up or what style combinations that they're doing, where they do the boho chic, there's mid-century, it's a little bit modern, it's something new. Like there's so many choices in there and it's not going to break the bank.
As someone who's interested in tons of different styles and time periods, Article covers them all in one place. I love that.
I know I've mentioned already how much I love my entryway table, but I swear to God, because the path that it's on, I pass it 4 times a day, and I love it more every time.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
To claim, visit article.com/murder, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
That's article.com/murder for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Goodbye.
Okay. Do you want to start your thing?
I go first.
Okay.
Right? Yes. Oh, shit. Wait, this is out of order. Sorry. I was like, that's not how this starts.
Wait a second.
Does not start in the... Oh, shit, Stephen, I do need you to print some stuff. Sorry, my printer ran out of paper. Oh, you did? I just need page 1 through 5. All right, I'm actually a little nervous about this one.
Okay.
Because it's a big one, and a lot of people know a lot of shit about this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a lot of theories.
Okay.
And I don't want to get anything wrong.
JFK?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Are you about to enter into some Jack the Ripper territory?
No.
Okay.
I'm about to do the disappearance of Johnny Gosch.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
And this one has levels. And this
man.
one has fucking twists and turns. Or does it? It depends on who you ask.
Any way you slice the story, it's so incredibly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Obviously. But this is just such a painful way that something like this could go.
Totally. I mean, it's very similar to the Jacob Wetterling case, which we covered a couple episodes ago, but it's got different twists and turns just because of the nature of the parents, the law enforcement, the public. But it's similar. So I got info from a ton of Wikipedia info, Des Moines Register, JohnnyGosch.com, which I think is run by his mom, a New York Times article, an article on owlcation, owl, O-W-L, cation.
The animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
By Annette Sharp, and a couple articles in Medium by the True Crime Times, and also the documentary Who Took Johnny.
Yep.
That's what it's called.
The Netflix documentary?
Yeah, the Netflix documentary Who Took Johnny, which is so good and heartbreaking, and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to give you a little taste of it. Here we go.
Okay.
And please feel free. I know you know the story really well too. So please feel free.
Definitely not really well.
Okay.
This is one of those ones that because the family pain is so on the surface and so a part of it, it's hard to read. It feels like one of those ones. I definitely prefer true crime stories that are like, it happened long ago, it was one and done, or whatever. Like the group thing happened and ended. Obviously not for everybody, but like, I don't know, there's something about the mother continually trying, and
I want to see and feel and experience what people went through, and it helps me understand the story more.
Yeah, completely. Oh, and the one thing I would say that changes because of recent things that makes it probably much more satisfying, and it's bringing it up to a different level, as you point out, is the fucking Epstein story.
Yes.
That breaks, that suddenly, okay,
totally.
I'll let you get into it, but like
100%, let's talk about that.
It's that thing of like, what used to be a conspiracy theory nearly 10 years ago, merely 5 years ago, is suddenly now, oh no, this is absolutely possible and real, and who knows?
100%. Okay. We'll get into it.
Okay.
On Sunday, September 5th, 1982, in the city of Des Moines, Iowa, which we've been to. It's a very charming city.
Yes, we love that place.
It was West Des Moines was then an upper middle class suburb of about 22,000 people. 12-year-old Johnny Gosch leaves home before dawn for his regular paper route. which a lot of kids did in the 80s and 90s. It's a totally normal thing. The thought of my kid going out in the dark before dawn would scare the shit out of me, but it was a totally normal thing back then. People didn't know that predators were lurking. And in fact, a lot of people didn't even know the word pedophile. They didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
So
Such a different time.
I know. So he goes out on his paper route. He's in 7th grade, and usually he's accompanied by his dad. But that morning, for some reason, he didn't wake his dad up. He wanted to do it alone. It's heartbreaking. But instead, he takes his red wagon and the family's miniature dachshund, Gretchen, and heads out to pick up his newspapers at the newspaper meeting place.
Right.
I'm sure there's a name for it. It's where they like rubber band the papers and they collect all their papers and head off.
Like the warehouse. Or whatever. Yeah. Where?
The warehouse. And that's the last time any corroborated sighting of Johnny Gosch occurs. So cut to around 6 a.m., John and Noreen Gosch, Johnny's parents, they begin getting phone calls. And those phone calls are from the people who were supposed to receive newspapers on Johnny's route who hadn't got them. And they were like, grah, 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 curmudgeon-y and shit. Sunday morning, you know?
Yeah.
Johnny had never missed a drop-off before, so of course his parents are worried. His dad goes out to search the neighborhood. Just 2 blocks from their home, he comes upon Johnny's, wagon that he had been pulling full of undelivered newspapers. Fucking Gretchen, true to the fucking end, is sitting there waiting. What did she see?
What did she see?
What did she see?
I know.
That poor baby. By all accounts, Johnny wasn't the type of kid to run off at all. He would never have left his dog and his delivery behind. He was saving money to purchase a dirt bike, so there's no reason why he would have just fucking left. It's not a thing.
Yes, it's not a
Especially
thing.
at 5:45 in the morning. It's not like he saw some friends and ran off to like hang out with them.
Right. Yeah.
The Gosches immediately contacted the West Des Moines Police Department and report Johnny's disappearance. Of course, like any fucking parent would. Up until this point in history, children's disappearances weren't treated any differently than adults' disappearances,
right,
which is fucking crazy.
So crazy.
There isn't even a national database of missing children. So while the police had the ability to record and track information about stolen cars, stolen guns, even stolen horses with the FBI National Crime Computer, there's no database on stolen children.
Isn't that the weirdest, like, the blind spots that when they are discovered, it's like if you told that to anybody, I think at that point in time, they'd go, how is that possible?
Right.
Because you assume these things are taken care of, or you assume everyone's gone over things point by point and figured this stuff out.
Right. That's exactly right.
Insane. But I think that also has to do with like, you're in charge of your own kids. Everybody keep to themselves. You know, if you slap your kids around at home, it's none of my business. Everyone, you know.
No seatbelts, smoke in the car.
Fucking kids were second-class citizens like crazy until very recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the police, and it's part of the reason that I feel like you'll see, but they're not, is because of this case. So it's an important one.
Yeah.
So the police are just 10 blocks away, but it takes 45 fucking minutes for them to get to the Gosch's house. And once there, they say there's no evidence of a crime. So they suspect Johnny's just a runaway, as they always did. So the Gosches also aren't legally allowed to file a missing persons report for 72 fucking hours.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it was 48.
It's just dependent on the state, I think.
Oh, shit.
72 hours of your 12-year-old being fucking missing. So the cops are like, goodbye, good luck, fuck off. But Noreen Gosch is a fucking force. This woman is like the backbone of this story. She is like having none of this bullshit. She immediately begins phoning friends and family and organizes a search party. The whole community seems to rally around the Gosches because this kind of thing doesn't fucking happen in Des Moines. It felt like a small town, a small community, and this kind of thing didn't happen. So residents are shocked that something like this would happen in their community. Meanwhile, local law enforcement was shockingly indifferent in Johnny's disappearance. In fact, according to Noreen, Police Chief Orville Cooney showed up to the park where neighbors and friends were congregating in order to do their own search. There's about 20 people getting together, planning their search for Johnny. The fucking police chief shows up. Allegedly, some say he was drunk, and he stood on a picnic table and through a megaphone yells to the searchers that they should go home because, quote, Johnny was, quote, just a damn runaway.
What the hell?
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it doesn't make sense because it's one thing to say that that's your theory or that's how the police stance. It's another thing to fight the people who are trying to take action.
Exactly. Well, this is what fuels the cover-up stories this is what fuels the cover-up conspiracies that come after. Okay, and I there's so much more to this. I can't overstate how little the police and FBI as well gave a shit about Johnny going missing. She would not stop trying to get them to do something, and they fucking wouldn't. They said they didn't have a crime, and she'd be like, quote, I don't have a son. That's like the fucking proof.
Yeah.
They'd openly mock and threaten her when she tried to get help from them. And they tell her, you know, all these crazy things and just completely discount her. And she was having none of it. So, in fact, this fucking Orville Cooney guy allegedly began spreading the story that Johnny was not the Gosch's real child, but was actually adopted. And that's why he ran away, was to find his real parents. So fucking Noreen had to produce Johnny's birth certificate and publish it in the newspaper to even prove, like, she's trying to find her son, and this person's working, like, actively working against her.
Well, slandering her.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So allegedly Orville had a reputation as the town drunk. He later left the department in disgrace. Of course, there's some witnesses and people in the neighborhood who come forward with information about that morning. First of all, at the newspaper depot place, a father and his kid remember a man in a car asking Johnny for directions. Fucking red flag. Don't ask children where to go. And then when the father approaches, the man quickly drives off. And according to the kid, Johnny said that the man had creeped him out and like took off to get away. So later, while on his route, a neighbor reports that he watched from his bedroom window as Johnny was talking to a stocky man in a blue two-toned Ford Fairmont with Nebraska plates. Remember Nebraska.
Okay.
The Gosches distribute over 10,000 posters and flyers with Johnny's picture on it. They sell these chocolate bars that have his picture on it in order to raise money to hire a private detective. Noreen contacts local and national media to cover the story. It's seen nationwide. She goes on all these programs trying to get help to find her missing son. Ultimately, authorities are unable to uncover any evidence as to Johnny's whereabouts or any motive to his fucking kidnapping, and they find no suspects in connection with the case. Then 2 years after Johnny disappears, on August 12th, 1984, another Des Moines area paperboy disappears. 13-year-old Eugene Martin left his home at approximately 5 a.m. to deliver Des Moines Register on the south side of Des Moines, just 7 miles from where Johnny had disappeared. Eugene normally delivered papers with his older stepbrother, but on this day he went alone too and disappeared. Witnesses say they saw Martin talking to a clean-cut white male in his 30s, sometime between 5 and 5:45 a.m. Some stated the two appeared to be engaged in a friendly father-son sort of conversation. No evidence of what happened to Eugene was ever uncovered. In September 1984, a dairy farm in Des Moines, Iowa, begins printing photographs of both Johnny and Eugene on their milk cartons. And the idea of local independent dairies, this was their idea, which I find so fascinating.
It's awesome.
They put the photos of missing children in their area on milk cartons so that customers who purchased the milk would be encouraged to look for the missing children or keep an eye out. This starts in the early 80s. There had been no system in the United States for tracking missing children nationwide. So by 1985, 700 of the 1,600 independent dairies in the United States had adopted the practice.
It's unbelievable. It's so smart. I would love to know who was the first.
Well, if you listen to 99% Invisible's episode called Milk Carton Kids, they tell you the whole fucking story. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm literally going to write that down.
It's so good. And it became this like part of our childhood, right? Yes. Milk Carton Kids. You'd go 100%. In the morning and sit down at the kitchen table to eat cereal, and there'd be the face of some kid who fucking looked like someone you went to school with. Right there, and they were gone.
They were gone.
Terrifying, and we all thought there was like mass fucking murderers everywhere, and we were going to get kidnapped any minute.
Well, and that idea that it was like they finally were taking it into their hands of, this is an item that everyone looks at every morning. Why not use it for good?
Totally.
And get awareness. And yes, it devastated and traumatized. I mean, it should though, because it was like on top of
Adam Walsh.
Yeah, well, I was going to say like the constant threat of nuclear war, which I remember just constantly obsessing on as a kid. When the milk carton kid thing started, it was just like, oh yeah, like things are not great.
It's a ticking time bomb until things go to fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's an incredible campaign, but it is just as the same thing as kids having no supervision.
Well, and I think it's the discomfort and it's what people don't like about true crime, which is the reality of it. It's, you have to sit there and go, no matter what age you are, and go, somebody took this boy and no one found him and no one knows what happened and we have to do something. Right. That's uncomfortable. And up until that point, I'm sure people would be like, you can't do that. You can't put those pictures on that. And it's like, no, somebody has to do something because there's no one else is going to do it. Yeah. I just love that.
Overall, the campaigns didn't have much success in bringing missing children home in the end and was criticized for overstating the risk of child abductions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which brought about a type of moral panic called stranger danger.
Was it moral panic?
Remember? It totally was. It was like us versus them. Don't talk to strangers. Those people are going to hurt you. And really, this fucking fear should be in your own circle and in your own life.
True,
unfortunately.
True. Yeah, that's right.
So the phrase is intended to encapsulate the danger that is associated with adults who children don't know, and to reinforce the public fears of strangers as potential pedophiles, despite sexual abuse of children being more likely to occur in families, unfortunately. So it kind of, the 80s.
The 80s. Well, it was like someone do something.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the best plan.
Yeah.
But it definitely raised awareness and it did happen.
Yeah.
100%. It did happen.
And that's like a really good point of this is that because they didn't even know what pedophiles were at the time, Johnny's parents, in their mind, he was being held for ransom, and that's why he was kidnapped. So in the first, interviews that they do, they're pleading to the captors to just let them know what they want, and they'll give it. Like, when is the ransom coming in? They didn't understand this whole, pedophile, stranger danger abduction. It just wasn't even on their fucking radars.
Yeah.
In fact, a third Des Moines kid, 13-year-old Mark James Warren Allen, also disappeared from Des Moines in 1986. On March 29th, he told his mother he planned to walk to a friend's house down the street and then just fucking vanished.
So basically every 2 years, this was happening in Des Moines?
Yeah. So Noreen was infuriated by the indifference of local law enforcement. When her son went missing, they fucking did nothing. And she becomes increasingly vocal about the inadequacy of law enforcement's investigation of missing children. She establishes the Johnny Gosch Foundation in 1982, through which she visited schools and speaks at seminars about sexual predators and warning kids. She lobbies for the Johnny Gosch Bill, a state legislation which would mandate immediate police response to reports of missing children, as it fucking should be and is today. The bill became law in Iowa in 1984. And Noreen, alongside John Walsh, who of course became an advocate for abducted children when his 6-year-old son, Adam Walsh, who we all, if you're from that time, you fucking remember, had been kidnapped from a mall in Hollywood, Florida in 1981. So Noreen with John Walsh testified before the U.S. Department of Justice. And in turn, they fucking ended up providing $10 million to establish the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
And that was Noreen Gosch.
She was one of the parents who fucking helped get that passed.
Amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, people are calling her fucking crazy because she won't let it go and she doesn't think her son is dead and she refuses to fucking give up the fight. They're calling her like nuts and stuff. And she's just like, fuck this shit.
It's like clearly she didn't go crazy if she was able to then eventually get a law passed.
Exactly.
Like it, there's one thing to be completely lose your mind over the loss, but clearly she was not crazy.
Yeah. And people were like insulting her for not crying on TV and, when she was pleading. And she was like, if my son is watching, I want him to see that his mom is taking control and like doing shit about it.
Yeah.
Not just crying,
Right.
Which is amazing. Noreen alleges that throughout her fight to find out what happened to her son, and her battle with law enforcement to give a shit, she began receiving death threats, warning her to back off and to stop making waves. And she later says that what she didn't realize at the time was that she was, quote, knocking on the back door of what became the Franklin Credit Union investigation. I wish I didn't have to include this in there. It's like, okay, let's just get through this.
Okay.
And I want your opinion on all this too. In 1988, authorities looked into allegations that prominent citizens of Nebraska as well as high-level U.S. politicians were involved in a child sex ring. Alleged abuse victims claimed that children in foster care were being sexually abused by extreme higher-ups, including the CIA, the military, and politicians in Washington, D.C., and being covered up by those underneath them. So they alleged that there was this big child sex ring where they'd take underprivileged kids out of foster care, or, they would groom them and then take them all over the country to, perform at these parties and to be auctioned off. It's all horrendous.
It's horrendous.
Yeah. The claims primarily centered around Lawrence King Jr., aka Larry King, which gets really confusing when you're listening to other podcasts about it, who ran the now defunct Franklin Community Federal Credit Union in Omaha, Nebraska. And it was alleged that the ring was a cult of devil worshippers involved in the mutilation, sacrifice, and cannibalism of numerous children. That was a quote. Then in 1980...
Disinformation.
Yeah. Right. Anarchy. Then in 1989, 21-year-old Paul A. Benaki told his attorney, John DeCamp, that he had been abducted into the sex ring as a teenager and been forced to participate in Johnny Gosch's kidnapping. He was there and he participated in it.
Wow.
And that Johnny had been subsequently brought into the sex ring. And Noreen later met with him and said he told her things that only her son would have known. Benaki accused Republican Party activist and businessman Larry King Jr. of running an underage sex ring and victimizing him since an early age. In 1990, a county grand jury found the allegations to be, quote, a carefully crafted hoax, and Paul Benaki and others were indicted on state perjury charges. So this fucking is an insane story that actually last podcast on the left. There's like 3 episodes about this called The Satanic Government to cover because there's so much information.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I put as my header... According to Noreen, and this is part of the documentary, according to Noreen, in March of 1997, 15 years after her son had disappeared, she's awakened around 2:30 a.m. by a knock at her apartment door. And waiting outside is her son, Johnny Gosch.
Oh, this kills me.
I know, me too. He's now 27 years old. He's accompanied by an unidentified man who just kind of accompanies him and keeps quiet. Noreen invites Johnny in. She said she had immediately recognized him as her son. He showed her his birthmark on his chest to prove it. She was just like, this is him. And she says that he stayed for about an hour and a half and basically confirmed her fears that he had been kidnapped and forced into a pedophile sex ring and was now out but feared for his life. So he had gone into hiding and just wanted to come see her.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, so this can be all debated online, but I think either this poor woman, I think it was either a hoax that was played on her because there had been others, or, just a fantasy that she really wanted to believe.
Yeah.
Which is totally understandable.
Totally.
Or it fucking happened. I don't know.
I mean, the idea that someone would pull a hoax like that, it's like you're the ultimate psychopath.
Absolutely.
If you actually want to go face to face and fuck with a person's emotions like that, it's unbelievable. But yeah.
There are sociopaths out there that would fucking get off on that shit.
Entirely. I mean, how many kidnapping stories have we done where there's always the call of the person
Right.
who has nothing to do with it, just trying to get money?
I mean, and in the beginning, they gave out their phone number. This has been happening to them for the fucking past 15 years. There had been a ransom of $10,000 where she got went to the spot. There was a letter addressed to her. She gave it over to police and they were like, that's nothing. She had been blown off by all these, people for fucking years, and all these people calling and, hoaxes and.
Yeah, basically it's because there was no actual official
Right.
arm of the law helping her.
Right.
Having to do it all herself kind of opened her up to all that.
Totally.
It's
Pandemonium.
and to have to constantly process and deal with those traumas over and over again on top of the original.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible.
No, it's horrible. I did some searching online, and I of course looked at our My Favorite Murder Gmail, and I saw a couple people mention this connection to it's kind of what happens to Jacob Wetterling. He was kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered by a single suspect, which I think in this case makes way more sense. It just so happens that in the early 80s, there's a child killer operating out of Nebraska. I remember someone noticed those Nebraska plates. Mm-hmm. So on September 18th, 1983, almost exactly a year before Johnny went missing, 13-year-old Danny Joe Eberly went out on his early morning paper route in the small town of Bellevue, Nebraska. Usually Danny was accompanied by his older brother. On this day, he wasn't. At about 8:30 a.m., calls from residents start coming in that they hadn't received their papers. I mean, it's just chilling.
It's like, it's a direct MO.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. It's a person. It's like the story that I did somewhere in the UK. I don't think it was Ireland, something in the UK, where it was the guy that just waited when young women were walking home from like village dances.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And he killed like a bunch of people in a row. It's just like, oh, somebody gets their idea, the one way it works, and then they just keep doing it over and over.
That's right. And so outside of a home where Danny delivered his newspapers, his parents found his bicycle abandoned and his undelivered newspapers. There was no sign of a struggle or a kidnapping, but he had just vanished. Days later, on September 21st, 1983, searchers found the bound, gagged, and partially clothed body of Danny Joe Eberly just 4 miles away from his abandoned bicycle. So this was the difference. But like in the Joseph Wetterling case, he buried him, so who the fuck knows? Almost 3 months later, on January 11th, 1984, this fucking badass, astute preschool teacher named Barbara Weaver, she helps apprehend the murderer when she's parking her car in the parking lot at school that morning early. She sees a fucking creepy car drive by. She sees the face of the dude and she's like, that looks like the police sketch that a witness had made.
Yes, girl.
He's driving by her school. She writes down his license plate and sees her looking, and he gets out of his car and he threatens her with a fucking knife, but she gets out of there and fucking had his license plate number, which is amazing. He drives off. She called the cops, obviously. Less than 2 hours later, police arrest John Jobert in his barracks at Offutt Air Force Base. At an Air Force Base. 20-year-old John Jobert fit the FBI profile, Robert Ressler's profile, to a fucking T. Including the fact that he volunteered as assistant scoutmaster in order to be closer to children. It's so creepy. He eventually confesses to Danny's murder, as well as the murders of a local boy named Christopher Walden, who was 12, who fucking disappeared and died in similar circumstances. And then investigators are able to link him to the stabbing death of 11-year-old Ricky Stenson in Oakdale, Maine. And you and I know very well, Nebraska and Iowa share a fucking
state line. That's
right. They're right next to each other.
Yeah.
And Bellevue, Nebraska, where these murders occurred, is less than a 3-hour drive from West Des Moines, Iowa, where Johnny Gosch disappeared.
And clearly the guy's doing it in different areas.
Right.
So,
and he's in the Air Force, so he's probably being stationed at different places. He has to drive and shit. Right?
Yeah.
At 12:04 a.m. on July 17th, 1996, he's put to death in Nebraska State Penitentiary's electric chair. And though John Jobert's only other known victims' bodies were found not far from where they were abducted, and therefore authorities were able to link them. There were bite marks and fucking similar mutilations and all kinds of awful stuff. There's never been any sign of Johnny, so they can't really,
link it.
And it's just speculation. But the problem is there's probably no shortage of fucking pedophiles and murderers in that area at the time.
Sure.
And he was in prison when the second kid, Eugene, went missing. So he couldn't have done that one. So maybe it was a copycat, or maybe there's just a totally different fucking psychopath roaming around. As for Noreen, she and John Sr. divorced in 1983, and she still lives in Des Moines, where she teaches yoga classes. I know. And continues her mission to help families of missing children. Back when Johnny disappeared in 1982, when a child disappeared in the U.S., authorities responded without much care or caution. The Gosch case and Noreen's plight to find her son was one, along with several other in that period, that experts say transformed and improved how law enforcement handled missing children and helped increase the likelihood of missing children being found.
Yeah.
It's been 37 years since Johnny Gosch went missing. Despite her grief and a system that turned her into the enemy, Noreen Gosch said, quote, "You have a choice. Are you going to rise up and do something, or are you going to sit there and feel bad?" And she also said, "You show me somebody who isn't a little controversial when it comes to making positive changes, and I'll show you someone who's never done a damn thing in their life."
Oh, Noreen!
And that's the story of the disappearance of Johnny Gosch.
Oh, fuck.
Do you need a shower?
I mean,
I'm glad that the milk carton thing happened and it was an overcorrection all the way in the other direction.
It needed to be.
It needed, basically what needed to happen is this matters. Children matter.
Yeah.
We can't wait 72 hours. We can't wait 48 hours.
Right.
We can't wait any hours.
Well, you think about all the kids, you know, all the like crazy shit that happened because of these milk cartons that were overcorrecting. But then you think about the like, you know, the police chief in this town who saw that. And so when a kid went missing, he actually acted, and otherwise he wouldn't have, because he was alerted to the fact that this happened.
Because the dairy farmers are going to fucking rise up and be like,
That's
we'll
right.
do it if you won't do it.
That's right.
We'll do it. We'll do it with Noreen.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
That's right. Fuck your gluten
allergy?
Fuck your lactose intolerance. We're taking care of shit.
For real. I mean, that's what I love about it, is people just going, we don't care what the actual setup is. We're going to do something
and
about it.
we're not going to listen to, you know, to authority figures, even if...
To authority figures who have too much to lose by doing it wrong, therefore they don't want to do anything at all.
Right.
It's like slowly watching the process. We get to look back over all these years, because that's been...
37.
God, that's so long.
I know.
And it's like the changes that have happened. Like you going Robert Ressler's, he fit
The profile.
The profile almost gave me chills. It was like, thank God, now we're talking about him doing profiles. Now we're in the Mindhunter part of the story where people are actually going, this is something we have to track and pay attention to and talk about.
Well, I think that now local police are overcompensating. When a kid goes missing, it's better to have overreacted than it is to be completely wrong.
Let's hope they're down fishing by the river by themselves.
Totally.
That's the dream, but don't fucking rely on it.
No.
And I don't think anyone really does anymore.
I don't think so.
And I don't think the public would let people do that anymore. I hope not.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thank you.
Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong.
Right now, you can get great deals on Hyundai's most popular models, from hybrids to EVs and more.
Score on the adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Kona, Tucson, Santa Fe, or Palisade, or the bold and tech-inspired Elantra.
And the most advanced and capable Sonata or Sonata Hybrid yet. Or go all-electric with the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 9.
But getting away with a great deal is just the beginning, because every new Hyundai is backed by America's Best Warranty.
Which means you can shop with confidence and drive with unrivaled peace of mind.
So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with a deal you'll truly love, but don't wait.
The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event won't be around for long.
Visit HyundaiUSA.com now for details.
Goodbye.
The Hulu original series Furious is coming to Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus on July 27th.
From Liz Merriweather, the Emmy-nominated executive producer of Dying for Sex and The Dropout, comes a gripping psychological thriller.
Starring Emmy Rossum, Furious follows Alice Black, a rookie FBI agent on the hunt for Catherine, a mysterious and calculating female serial killer.
It's Alice's first case on the job, and she's already bitten off more than she can chew.
While Alice believes justice is achieved through law enforcement, Catherine has lost all faith in the legal system.
She's taken it upon herself to terrorize the rich and powerful men of New York in her pursuit of vengeance.
As Alice and Catherine's twisted game of cat and mouse unfolds, the lines between good and evil and right and wrong begin to blur.
With shocking crimes, tangled relationships, and secrets that change everything, Alice discovers there's a thin line between hunter and prey.
Watch the Hulu original series Furious on July 27th.
Streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Goodbye. There are some questions humanity may never be able to answer, like, what's the meaning of life?
Or even worse, what do I make for dinner?
Luckily, Hungry Root has one of those covered.
Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped in one. They'll take care of the weekly grocery shopping and recommend groceries and meals tailored to you.
Imagine a world where shopping, planning, and cooking food is simple and stress-free. That's a reality with Hungry Root.
Once you tell them about your goals and preferences, they fill your cart with personalized recommendations. And those recommendations get smarter as Hungry Root learns more about what you did or didn't like.
Most of Hungry Root's recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less.
I complain about dinner and cooking and that kind of stuff constantly, and Hungry Root provides exactly the thing I'm complaining about's solution. Like, they make a zesty chicken avocado sweet potato bowl that is exactly what I want at the end of the day, but would never, ever take the time to make. And with Hungry Root, it's just right there. It's waiting for you.
For a limited time, get 40% off your first order, plus get a free item in every box for life.
Go to hungryroot.com/MFM and use code MFM.
That's hungryroot.com/MFM, code MFM, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
Goodbye.
Oh, can I tell you something really quickly on the podcast?
Yes.
You just said, thank God
I just
Vince.
said, thank God for Vince April.
Do you know that your dad and my husband text each other? Are you aware? Vince, we're watching TV and Vince looks down at his phone and goes, and I go, what? He goes, Jim just sent me something about Budweiser. A funny joke. He's like, anytime there's something in the news about Budweiser, we text it to each other.
My dad is
You shouldn't have never given Vince's
over
phone
the
number.
moon because my dad sends me like political cartoons of Trump doing some like flushing the
Right.
toilet 15 times
Right,
or whatever,
yeah.
the latest thing, and it just stresses me out. I never know what to say. Where I'm like, the
Our
world
life,
is burning.
This is the worst. Yeah.
This is horrible. So when I think I said that he told me to tell Vince something, and I'm like, you should just text him yourself because I know you guys have each other's phone. Don't be coy. And now they're just
sweet.
they're doing it. It's lovely.
Because Vince, I think maybe Jim kind of reminds him of his dad who passed away. So
Yeah, they're the old school types.
yeah. Who drink? Vince doesn't drink Budweiser, but he pretends to for your dad.
He pretends to drink Budweiser for my dad.
That's right.
Is because he knows how much that matters.
That's right.
And I told you when you and I first met and first started doing this show, and we
started dating.
when we first started dating Vince. No, we went to that party at Pat Walsh's house, and Vince and I talked, and I later told you he did a thing that was so my dad, where he, as he was telling me a story, with the hand he was holding his beer, he pushed my shoulder for effect,
Right.
to be like, hey,
Yeah.
and then I was like, where am I? Am I home with all my uncles? Like, it was the craziest thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if Vince is like, oh, that's how my dad used to be. Because I feel like there's just style similarities.
This gruff fucking man. That's it.
Yeah.
And then remind me someday to tell you that I had a dream about you and my wedding. Talk about it later. Guess what? I hadn't done my homework. There was all this homework about it. And
You
I
didn't write
do
your
it.
vows. God damn
No,
it.
you came fucking ready. And I was just like, can I have another day?
Can we do this wedding on a Sunday, please?
Okay.
Our wedding.
It was very romantic.
That's for episode 300.
That's right.
We'll have a live wedding. Stream that live wedding, girls. Okay. I'm going to do leftover homework from when we were on the great island of Ireland.
Homework is homework, man.
Right? It got done. I just didn't want to do it because I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I found one that I could put more jokes into.
Great.
Because that's my priority.
That's a good one.
But
Now let's make Steven laugh.
no, but this is one of those ones where it's like it's a small town, like a family massacre.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Yes, and so I thought I'd tell you all about it.
Great.
It's the Malahide massacre.
Uh-huh.
You know this one?
Is it the barn one?
It's a family.
But it happened in a barn?
No.
Then I don't know it.
Okay. Okay. So this, the majority of information. So the Irish Times is the I believe, Dublin newspaper. Please check that, Stephen. I'm almost positive. But they have a series called, or they did at least from when this article is from, called Lost Leads, which highlights lesser known stories that were featured in the Times from as far back as 1859.
Wow.
So if you pull up one of these stories, then the side column becomes all the other ones.
How about these? How about these?
And
How about you never go to sleep ever again?
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's the best idea. So this article was written, the one about this massacre was written by a writer named Dean Ruxton. Another source that I used was a website called oldyellowwalls.org. And then, of course, the classic Murderpedia. So this starts on Wednesday, March 31st, 1926.
Okay.
A man named Henry McCabe, a gardener, arrives for work at the La Mancha house in Malahide, which is just outside Dublin. It's 8 a.m. and he's just there for work. So this house is impressive. It's a 3-story Georgian home. It's on about 30 acres of land in this wealthy seaside neighborhood. And the house is owned by the McDonald family. It's 4 adult siblings that live together. So it's Annie, who's 56, Joseph, who's 55, Peter, who's 51, and Alice, who's 47.
Can you imagine still living with your sister?
I mean, the fighting, the volume alone. The passive aggression.
There's 4 of them?
There's 4 of them. And they're all retired.
Okay.
So, They bought the house in 1918 after retiring from their successful grocery, drapery, and general store in County Galway, which is where my grandpa's from. Represent Galway. So yeah, I guess they made a ton of money, and then they were like, let's go buy this rad house.
Maybe they like to party together.
Maybe. I mean, from the Irish people that I know, they're very cliquey and clanny.
Like they would have been hanging out anyways, so they might as well live together.
Yeah, entirely.
Okay.
That's how my family is.
It sounds kind of fun for like a weekend.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. And then, throw some beer and whiskey in there and maybe a fiddle and a story. Everyone's got their party piece. Yep. There's going to be fighting on the front lawn. That's a full weekend. You don't need money for other extracurricular activities. It all happens in the house.
Love it.
So they've all lived there. Although they had recently decided to put the house up for sale. So there had been ads about the house running in the local paper for a few days before. So when Henry gets to the house on the morning of March 31st, he thinks something's off. He notices there's smoke coming out of both chimneys, but there's no other signs that anybody's awake. No other lights are on or anything. And then when he gets closer, he sees smoke is billowing out of a bathroom window. So then he's like, oh shit. He runs to the back door of the house, and finds that it's been broken open. So he goes inside as far as he can, before the flames are, keep him from going in any further. And he calls for the McDonald's, but nobody responds. So he runs into town, to get the fire brigade. And on his way, he passes a neighbor, Mrs. Riley. And he tells her about the fire. She then tells a police officer and a local neighbor. Mm-hmm. I guess the neighbor's the only kind of neighbor you can be. And so those two guys run to the house before the firefighters get there to see what's going on. And they break into a basement room. So I'm sure they went around looking in the windows. Yeah. And the basement room was where one of the family employees, they had two employees that lived at the house. And one was this man, James Clark, who was 41 years old. And his bedroom was down in the basement. So they break open the window. They see that he's partially dressed on his bed. They drag him out of the house to save him from the flames. But once they get him outside on the lawn, they find that he is already dead, but not from the fire. He has defensive wounds all over his forearms and a deep gash on the left side of his skull, like he's been hit with a sharp, narrow metal object. Ooh. Perhaps a blowpoke.
Oh, shit. What's up the staircase?
Yeah, right. So then the fire brigade arrives around 8:50 a.m., put out the fire. But at this point, the roof is collapsed. The interior is almost completely demolished. Wow. So then, aside from James Clark, firefighters pull out 5 more bodies from the house. It's Annie, Joseph, Peter, Alice, their servant, Mary McGowan, who's 50 years old. Annie and Alice were found in the same room upstairs. Peter is found in his room. They're all of their bodies are charred beyond recognition. And then Peter's body was down in a different room, and it was laying there. It had been stripped bare, and then laying on top of him was a wool singlet and a pair of pants, but just laying on top of his body like someone else put it there.
Weird.
And then nearby, a fire poker with brain matter on it was next to him. Okay, so on the day of the event...
Why did they cover him with clothes?
We'll see. Okay. So on the day of the event, March 31st, the firefighters inspect the house to determine the cause of the fire, and they see that it had started in several spots throughout the house. So the theory was somebody walked around and pouring a spirit of liquor or something flammable around to light it in several places. Then the medical examiner finds trace amounts of arsenic in some of the bodies, not enough to kill, but enough to weaken them. And so basically the theory is the killer would have had a physical advantage because he wouldn't have been able to take 4 adults or 6 adults at one time. Right. And because the defensive wounds that were found on James Clark's body, and the fact that only some of the bodies were burned, but all of them were dead, the police conclude that everyone was murdered first, and then the fire was set intentionally to burn the evidence. Also, when the house is searched afterwards, there's no valuables found inside.
Yeah, I bet.
And these are rich people, basically.
God, how terrifying, like, to live in that area and just that horrible thing happened.
Just a, like, oh, it's a house fire. Oh, no, it's actually, it's a murder with a house fire on top of it.
And it's not just one person alone, which would be easy to fucking, kill. It's like 6 fucking adults.
6 adults.
That's terrifying.
All around a house. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so as authorities search for solid leads, of course, the rumor mill kicks into high gear. So some neighbors are gossiping that the McDonald siblings had been fighting, and maybe those fights led to the murder. Others talk about how strange it is for 4 adult siblings in their late 40s, early 50s to all be unmarried and living together.
I thought maybe it was just for the time it was normal.
I mean, maybe it could have been, but I think in this situation where suddenly everyone's dead,
Right.
people are just like, okay, what could have happened? And then that opens to, it starts to imply that maybe the murders were born out of, there was sexual abuse, there was incest, there was mental illness, there were things going on in the house. Like, what are the family secrets, essentially? But close friends of the McDonalds vehemently deny any of these stories. They say they're incapable of murder and that none of that other stuff was happening. But either way, of course, local newspapers go crazy on this story, and hundreds of people travel from all over just to come and take a look at the house. Because, of course, it's like, this is a 6-person murder house.
Totally. And we don't have TV.
We don't have TV. And this is what human beings do.
Right.
It just is. Okay. So on April 2nd, 1926, the police bring in Henry McCabe for questioning, since it's, obviously suspicious. He's like a number one suspect because he's the gardener and he's the only person that was a regular at that house that survived.
Yeah.
Was not attacked in any way. So he gives his account of what happened in the days leading up to the fire. He said the night before the fire, he claims that he sat at the kitchen table with Joe reading the paper until about 8 p.m. and then he left to attend a wake. And then he leaves the wake the next morning at 7:45 a.m.
Holy shit.
Because that's how the Irish do wakes.
Was that some passing out at fucking 5:30 a.m. and then waking up at 7?
Hell yeah.
On the couch?
You get to the wake. You have 8 beers.
Yeah.
You sing some songs. You cry. You put your arms around people. You do this. You do that. Yeah, you wake up, you have some toast. He basically stopped home to freshen up around 7:45 the next morning, and then he goes to work at the McDonald's where he finds the house fire. He tells police that he'd never really seen the family fight per se, but in the weeks prior to the fire, they did seem quieter than usual. He claims he hadn't seen Annie or Peter in a few days, but that Joe told him that they were resting in bed because they were sick. And according to Henry, both he and I think it was either 2 or 3 cooks that had worked in the house over the years that Henry had worked there, they all said and noticed that Joe almost never spoke to anyone in the family. He mostly, if he was going to speak to anybody, it would be to Peter, but even then it wasn't warm or, like brother to brother.
Yeah.
It was polite and businesslike. And Henry also claims that the neighborhood kids called Alice the Mad Woman of La Mancha, which seems totally like something kids would say.
You know how kids love talking about La Mancha.
They love to make literary references.
That's right.
Because she'd sometimes run out of the house looking disheveled and acting hysterical.
Oh, God, that's scary.
Mm-hmm. And then he also says that Peter was known to run in circles in the yard and quote, throw himself down on the ground and laugh like a schoolboy.
What?
Booze, baby. That's booze.
Okay.
Both of them could be. But basically, Henry, he tells police when the McDonald's first moved in, that's 2 L's, not a D.
Got it.
When they first moved in, that he had been asked by the siblings to dig a hole to bury a safe under their porch. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years later, he was asked to dig the safe back up so they could return it to the store. He's telling the police this story when they're just asking like what happened at the house.
Right.
And suddenly he's talking about this safe. And at one point, he's searched and they find the keys to that safe in his pocket.
Uh-oh.
While he's being questioned by police. But other than that, Henry McCabe is a husband and father of 9. So as far as anyone knows, he's an upstanding citizen.
Right.
So after taking Henry's statement, the police deduced that maybe Peter McDonald, quote, must have lost his reason during the night and, having slain the whole household, set the place on fire and succumbed himself to heart failure, or was suffocated by the smoke, or else poisoned himself.
Okay.
So rock solid theory of what happened.
I'm on board.
He killed everybody and then kind of died afterward.
In some way.
In some strange way. But when the time of death is revealed, for all of the victims had been dead since 5 p.m. Monday evening. So Wednesday morning is when Henry found the house on fire.
Okay.
So the coroner's like, they've been dead for a full day, if not more.
Okay, but it's also 1922?
26.
26? I mean, can the coroner be like, oh, to my deductions, we have a pocket watch. Let's take a look at it.
It's definitely a guesstimation. And we do know that some of the bodies were charred beyond.
Right.
But the problem with that is it directly conflicts with Henry's story that he was sitting at the table reading the paper with Joe the night before.
Got it.
So then they're like, okay, well, even if it's not the full, 2 days before,
right,
something's off.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Then the police discover that the pants Henry McCabe were wearing when he was first detained actually belonged to Peter McDonald.
Uh-oh.
The body that was stripped bare.
Oh, why would he do that and then wear it to work?
Well, why would he? So this is found after a guard, a police officer, Guardie, reports that Henry had asked him to have his wife lie for him and say that Peter had sent him the pants, like that he had been given the pants long ago.
Yeah.
And that he had already owned the pants. But he basically tried to get a cop to tell the wife to tell that lie.
That's not gonna.
And the cop's like,
fly.
Got you. I'm going to go ahead and tell my boss about this.
Yeah, have it instead.
Real quick. So the police then began to theorize that if Henry was the one that was responsible for these murders, that at some point during the murder of all these people, he could have somehow soiled his own pants and then basically gotten rid of those and taken Peter's pants off of him and put them on because they were really nice gray, like newer pants.
Slacks.
Maybe a woolen slack. Real high though, because it's 1926,
oh, yeah,
so they come
pleated
right up to the nipple.
So many pleats.
And basically, so he got rid of his pants, let them burn in the fire, and that's why Peter's body was found with just the singlet
right,
and another
he was
pair
like,
of
they're
pants
gonna
on
burn
top.
anyway, so you're not even gonna know. I don't have to dress them,
and it'll look like, oh, these were his. They're here,
right?
So essentially, once they kind of put all of these things together, the police get Henry to sign a statement of confession. So Henry McCabe is formally charged with murder in April of 1926. So even though he signed the statement of confession, he then pleads not guilty and maintains his innocence. So the judge is worried that the statement was coerced. His trial begins in November of 1926. Prosecutors claim that Henry is the only logical suspect. He has access to the La Mancha house, but none of their explanations for Henry's motive are that good.
Yeah.
So they search Henry's house and they do find clothing with bloodstains on it, but he's a gardener.
Right.
So it could just easily be his, and because he's out working with big shears and getting cut in brambles and bushes and stuff.
Maybe. And he has 9 kids who are constantly falling and doing stupid
and doing
shit.
all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Teeth falling out randomly. Lip biting.
Yeah.
They don't find any valuables in Henry's house. So thinking that all the things that were missing
right,
from the La Mancha house might be found there. They don't find any. They claim that Henry was scared that he was going to lose his job if the McDonalds sold the house, but that didn't make sense because he had actually worked there for the family before the McDonalds bought it, so he had just remained the gardener.
And he's going to double lose his job if the fucking occupants die.
Right. So, So the defense relies on the neighborhood rumors about the McDonalds to build their case. They say it's entirely possible that either Peter or Alice McDonald could have gone mad with everybody implying that they already might have been a little crazy here or there, that they had just snapped and killed everyone in the house before killing themselves. As for the arsenic, the prosecutors note that there's arsenic in one of the gardening chemicals that Henry used in the garden. Defense comes back and is like, he doesn't know how to extract arsenic from these gardening chemicals, and he didn't live in the house, so he didn't have a way to slip arsenic into their food, even if he did know how to. And also the defense says poison is a woman's weapon.
Come on now.
And so it's kind of true. And so they say it's more likely Alice would have poisoned anybody if it was anybody that did it. So it's a 6-day trial, and the judge, Justice O'Byrne, tells the jury, if you are satisfied that McCabe is the only person who could have committed this crime, you must find him guilty. But if you have any reasonable doubt, you must give him the benefit of it. So the jury goes and deliberates for 50 minutes and comes back finding him guilty of all of the murders.
Oh.
And he's sentenced to death by hanging.
I don't think he did it.
Okay. So on December 9th, 1926, he's taken to the gallows. When asked if he has any last words, he says, all I have to say is, God forgive them. I am the victim of bribery and perjury. So Henry maintains his innocence all the way till the end. But after his hanging, some damning facts are revealed about his life before.
Come on, man. I was fucking rooting for you.
No, I know. Look, a lot of people were, including that judge who seemed like, this all could be just like they want to get this taken care of. So these are all things that they couldn't talk about during the court case. Okay. But in his youth, he moved to England, where he had several run-ins with the law, and they weren't defined particularly, but he did serve prison time for them.
Well, who among us?
I mean, and then when he was released, he moved to Birmingham, and there he started dating a woman, but he's soon arrested for attempting to murder her.
Don't do that.
He serves another 15-month sentence for attempted murder, and then eventually moves to just outside Dublin.
Okay.
So, but none of this information can be used during the trial because of the Code of Criminal Procedure that disallows the court from using prior charges to argue their case. So basically, some people are kind of like, well, then this is almost like if people were worried or it was up in the air or whatever, well, at least we have these prior convictions that maybe support that.
Sure.
But maybe some people aren't sleeping that well. Maybe some people still aren't sure. And then 7 years later, in 1933, a local boy named Denning. His last name is Denning.
Oh.
He's digging in the garden of a house on Church Road in Malahide when he digs up 2 silver watches. One is inscribed to James Clark, who was the man who lived in the basement, and the other is inscribed to J. McD. It's said that when Henry was alive, he was the gardener who planted the shrubbery at the house on Church Road in that particular garden.
So he's like, I gotta do something with this shit, and fucking bury the loot.
He buried that loot all over, probably not just in this house. And because you know that thing where people are guilty and they start talking because they think they're smarter than everybody. Yeah. So he tells the story of burying the safe, which basically...
Or tries to like mislead them and like have them go in a different direction by over talking.
Yes. But I think people don't understand that in your subconscious, the reason you think of the things you're talking about, it's like you're giving yourself away.
Yeah.
And the idea that he's talking about burying the safe, which is like clearly he knew there were valuables. They had money, they had stuff hidden, but also it's like burying stuff. Yeah. Like it's a whole area that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it's not the hardest of evidence, but like it would be interesting to know if they found any more stuff buried in yards around Malahide.
Let's grab a fucking metal detector and head there.
The Detector is season 3, and that's the harrowing story of the Malahide massacre.
Oh, fuck.
Boom.
See, I was going for them being the family, either one of them murdering everyone else or not them killing themselves, because I don't think the servants would have done it as well. If it was like the 4 siblings, maybe. But I definitely thought it was the guy who had the clothes laid on top of him.
Yeah, because clearly he was the last
Right. And
Or-
maybe he like wanted some modesty, so he covered himself up and then
Right.
the end. But now I don't think so anymore.
And it's interesting because back then, they just had to kind of, there was so little science
Yeah.
of any kind, plus everything's burnt.
Yes.
So they just have to go through and like really piece stuff together.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely see, and we know that it happens all the time. It's like, oh, the gardener, the guy that reported it.
Yeah.
Pull in whoever, sent him to the
I
gallows.
was like, bullshit.
Yeah, end this whole thing. But like the idea that he had the keys to the safe in his pocket.
Yes.
He was wearing one of the dead men's pants.
Yes.
Like there were so many things that were just like,
He had a
dude,
ton of his little kid's teeth blood all over his other pants that they found.
why don't you just wash those pants?
Why do your kids' teeth keep falling out of their fucking heads?
Why don't you keep backup pants in the gardener shed where they should be?
That's a good lesson to learn. Always keep backup pants.
I mean, you know that I live by it, as my great fear in the world is something happens to my pants and then I have to borrow pants from somebody whose pants are too small. It's like a nightmare I live with.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Keep
feel
those
like-
sweats in the back seat.
I feel like 200 episodes in and we're still learning stuff about each other.
God, it's so fresh.
Good job. That was great. That was awesome.
Thank you. I mean, it really was a bit of a.
No, that was so fun. I mean, it was not fun. This is not fun, everyone.
This is not. This is but it's interesting. Also, because when you're in a place like that where it's so everything's has that small village, small town feel, where the influence of what people say and it's same thing of Noreen Gosch being like, oh, she's crazy.
Yeah.
Where once you get the like public opinion stirred up of like, oh, those people in the house,
Right.
they all killed each other. Where it's just like, oh, well, yeah, they're not around to defend themselves. If they were
Right.
private people, then you can kind of say anything after the fact. Crazy.
Man.
That's it.
That's it. We decided our fucking hooray is going to be you guys.
It you said it like Janet.
All of you.
You
out
guys.
there
Thanks so much.
in the ether listening. This life has turned out really fucking insane and unexpected and not at all what I had in mind 4 years ago.
No.
For the rest of my existence. And it's completely changed that. And I am so not just like material things and how crazy this is and like fucking our book being on Audible's top fucking audiobooks of the 2019, like not just shit like that, but like the fact that there are people who really care about us, who we don't know, who, are out there and how lucky we are that we help people go to therapy and get help and get on medication and deal with their mental health. We feel very fucking grateful. And I really can't believe that we get a chance to do this with our lives. And I am so, I'm honored.
Nice.
And so 200 episodes in is pretty fucking incredible.
It's pretty amazing. I think we should also take this time to thank Stephen Ray Morris,
Yes,
who has been here since, right? Like you came in 16?
17.
It was Stephen, you came in such, we needed you so much and you really, and we made you do so much stuff for us. And you really, kept us going in those early times where we didn't understand what was happening. We couldn't wrap our arms around what was happening. And it was so great to have you. It's been so great to have you this whole time.
Stephen,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what the kids say is ride or die.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice one.
I love it.
You know what's very satisfying to me is that I feel like the things that we did early on, which were almost like us being like, oh, Brene Brown, we're learning how to be more vulnerable. We're learning how to be honest about ourselves.
Right.
We're learning how to say what we think is the most shameful thing about ourselves and then share that so that maybe the shame will dissipate. And instead of that just being like a weird exercise between you and I at like Uncomfortable Thanksgiving or on our podcast just as a test or whatever, it really was the fertilizer that grew this beautiful garden where, I spent a large portion of my life believing that I could never let anybody into that vulnerable side or that was some kind of, that would be a huge mistake or a weakness or the worst. And instead it is it's been this ridiculously unbelievable lesson in how that is the way to go.
Yeah.
Like that really is this kind of thing where we all go, hey, guess what? Everyone's mentally ill.
Yeah.
They really are. And the people who can't admit it the most usually have the biggest secrets and the biggest sicknesses.
Right.
And we don't have to be cowed by anyone. We don't have to be made to feel bad about ourselves by anyone. We get to choose how we feel, and we get to choose how we deal with how we feel.
Right.
And so, yes, there's a lot of talk about like, we're scared of this and we're scared of that. And God forbid you go to the forest and all those things that we've done that's been over the top and reactionary, and us telling horrible stories and then trying to think of solutions to those stories.
Yeah.
But really at the end of the day, underneath all of that, what I think I've been learning at least is the opposite, which is opening up, being honest, being direct, trying to be like, oh, here's the thing I really fear.
Yeah.
And is it a real fear, or is it just this thing that actually holds me back? And maybe if I just throw it out there, people, at least I can get a little relief, and then maybe somebody else gets a little relief.
I think the word of the day is that it's led to so much connection. And that is such a beautiful thing, and I'm in awe of it. And you and I have felt it.
Yeah.
And I think everyone else has felt it with each other.
Yeah.
And if that's our fucking legacy, then I'm
hell
happy.
yeah.
I'm a fucking man. That's what we need in life, is more connection. And even if it's scary and you have to be vulnerable about it, and you have to like show your ugly bits, and that I have BO right now, and like all that fucked up shit.
All that
like,
fucked up shit.
There's someone else on the other side going, yeah, I have that too. Let's be friends.
Let's be friends. And also let's not feel so bad,
Right.
because I am a product of the horrible Hollywood system that I beat my head against for 20 years until this fucking podcast. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, it all blows open.
You have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Otherwise it won't work.
It won't work, and it's audio, so like it doesn't like, it's a whole different discipline, I think. And it's maybe even a harder discipline, because I've gone on a billion diets,
right.
But this thing is it's a whole different approach. And so thank you for giving a shit, for listening and participating and being with us. And thank you to the people who get us and know our intentions, because we do absolutely fuck up so much and talk about things that then we only find out afterwards, offend people or aren't the right way to think about things or whatever. There's so many people that listen to this podcast and come back in going, I know you don't know this, and I know you would want to know this. Yeah. And here's this piece of information.
It's people giving us the benefit of the doubt, which we are honored to have, and we will be careful with and take care of.
Yeah, try our best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Be vulnerable to not being perfect and to change.
Yeah.
And you guys, thank you so much. 200 fucking episodes.
Man, so crazy.
Thank you for this life-changing thing you've given us.
Yeah, and thank you for, this success is because of all you guys participating and wanting to. And, here's to at least 50 more.
Let's say 25. Can we say 25?
Let's promise 25 and let's aim for 50.
Great.
Come on.
Great.
At least until next summer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, then stay sexy.
And don't get murdered.
Goodbye for the 200th time.
Yay.
Elvis, you want a cookie? Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable.
From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra.
Each design moves with you, from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold. Goodbye.
You know that fantasy where you run into your ex while looking impossibly cute and wildly unbothered? Hill House makes the perfect dress for that moment. Or if you're just running errands. Hill House Home is the brand behind the viral nap dress, known for its signature smocking, ultra-flattering fit, and comfort that makes it a favorite for just about everyone. Celebrities like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Anne Hathaway, and Mindy Kaling have all been spotted in Hill House. These dresses are the definition of versatile, perfect for running errands in the morning and stylish enough for dinner or a party that night. And it's not all they carry. They started with bedding back in 2016, and now you'll find bathrobes, pajamas, children's clothes, and maternity, all with the cutest prints. And it's so true. The hardest time picking out one nap dress because the prints are so dreamy and beautiful. But now that I have it, I'm going to wear it all day, every day. I'm going to throw on my leather jacket at night and look like a total badass. Cowboy boots or cute heels, whatever it is, this nap dress can make it look classy. You look like that classy lady you see at the airport. Hill House makes fun fashion that makes you feel good. Get 15% off your first order of $100 or more at hillhousehome.com with code MURDER15. That's MURDER15 for 15% off at hillhousehome.com. Goodbye.
If audiobooks are your thing, or if you've been meaning to listen to more of them, you should check out a podcast called Earsay, the Audible and iHeart Audiobook Club, hosted by Cal Penn.
Each episode spotlights standout audiobooks on Audible across all kinds of genres: sci-fi, comedy, romance, thrillers, and more, with Cal talking to guests who help break down what makes each story worth listening to.
It's a fun, easy way to discover your next great audiobook.
Check out Earsay on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Goodbye.